battery to 100%.
Okay, we're going to get started in about 2 minutes. If you have props, you can get them. Towels, blocks, anything that resembles blocks or towels or blanket. Everybody. I'm glad you're back, Papa. All right, we're going to get started. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I didn't test my mic, but I think it's okay. Welcome to the weekend, which I'm super happy it's the weekend. This is going to be a beginner's slow flow. I'm keeping the same theme each class. You might hear some commotion. My dad's actually going to be in the house in a little bit, taking out the countertops. So, so it might be a little bit loud at some point, but I have music playing. This is what happens in a home practice sometimes, and that's okay. So have some props if you have them available. So towels are a really good prop to have, especially for like a gentle type of yoga. It's a good replacement of like a yoga blanket or meditation cushion. Blocks or something that resembles a block, like a book of some sort. When he's getting a little frisky this morning. And then you can have a strap or a belt or something that resembles that. Those are the props that will be really useful in a practice like today, where it's beginners, slow flow, gentle type of thing. Because you don't want to overexert yourself using your muscles. That's a different type of practice. So it's nice to have props available to assist and to help you in certain poses, so that way your muscles aren't doing all the work. Say good morning, Winnie. Say good morning to all the people and the animals out there. So we're going to get started. And let's actually start sitting. So find yourself in a comfortable position. You can either sit on your shins with a block or something that is like a block between your ankles, like Not like that, like so. Okay. And your sit bones are on your block. You can also sit cross-legged on a towel, folded towel, on a block, however is comfortable for you. So just find your way to that comfortable seated position. And then once you're there, just bring your hands right above your knees, palms facing down. And sit up tall, lifting from the sides of your waist. And then think about your sit bones, which are like your butt bones. Press your sit bones down into whatever you're sitting on, whether it's a block, a towel, towards the floor. And then very just draw your shoulder blades towards one another. And relax your shoulders. Okay. And you can either have your eyes closed or just gaze about a foot or two in front of you. So your eyes are about half closed, half open, or just close your eyes, whatever feels better. Finding your way into your practice and setting your intention. And that's something to think about. What is your intention? What is an intention? You know, a lot of these practices, the intention I set as a teacher is just acceptance and accepting where you are today and accepting your limitations. It could be finding peace in this very moment or just being present, which is really challenging. Then bring your awareness to your breath in and as it comes out. Just breathing normally, not forcing it, not straining it, just allowing it to happen. And just start to make your way down and bring your awareness to your chest and your ribs. Feeling your chest rise and fall as you breathe in and out. Feeling your ribs expand and come back down as you breathe in and out. And then bring your attention to your belly. Feeling the air fill your belly as you breathe in. Feeling your belly release as it comes out. And slowly start to deepen your breathing. And on each inhale, you're just getting a little bit deeper. Starting to fill your body up with air on each inhale. And releasing all the air out on your exhale. Take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Good. We're going to do some more pranayama, which is breathing techniques a little bit later, along with a little bit of meditation. But for now, we're going to get right into the practice. So go ahead and come up onto your hands and knees. And just slowly get yourself there. Like, don't move fast. Just allow yourself to go slow. And that might be a little bit of a challenge. So on your hands and knees are directly underneath your hip bones, hip bone distance apart. Tops of your feet are pressing down into the floor with your shins. And then make sure your arms are one line, your wrist, elbow, shoulders. Spread your fingers And then you can turn your hands slightly out. You know, they're not all the way turned out, but they're just slightly turned out. Good. And then focus on your hip bones and scoop your hip bones up towards your rib cage. And what that allows you to do is it also allows your tailbone to start to lengthen back. So you're not tucking your tailbone under, but instead of your tailbone going up, it's lengthening, you know, towards the back of the room. Then just stay here for a moment. Lift your arms away from the floor. And then your next inhale, step your right foot back, so in the ball of your right foot. Press your right thigh up, and then inhale, lift your left arm up to shoulder height, palm facing in. Exhale, come down, tabletop. Inhale, step your left foot back, straighten your left leg. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, step your right foot back, left arm up. And exhale, come down. Inhale, left foot back, right arm up. And then exhale, come down. This time, inhale, right foot back, left arm up. Maybe lift your right foot up off the floor a few inches. Keep lifting up away from the floor. Exhale, come down. Inhale, left foot back, left leg is straight, right arm up. Reach your fingertips forward, lift your left leg up. Maybe, you don't have to. Press through your heel and your fingertips. And then exhale, slowly come down. Come to child's pose. So your hips are at your heels, knees can be together or apart, arms can be out in front of you, elbows bent, arms are resting on the floor, or your arms can be down by your sides. Forehead on the floor, or on a block, or on a folded towel. If you get tired or fatigued or just need a rest, this is a good pose to go to. You can go here at any time during your practice, taking a few breaths, a few moments to yourself, and then coming back when you're ready. And your next inhale, reach your arms out in front of you and look up to your hands. And make sure your hands are about shoulder distance apart. Spread your fingers and press your hands down and lift your elbows up off the floor. And then think about your triceps, your upper arms, and draw your outer upper arms under you. That way your elbows aren't pointing out, they're kind of drawing under. And then your next inhale, keep pressing into your hands. Press yourself up to tabletop. Tuck your toes under. Spread your fingers, press your hands down. Keep lifting your arms away from the floor as you lift your knees up an inch off the floor. So you're keep lifting your arms up, and then exhale, release, bring your knees down. Inhale, lift your knees up just an inch. And exhale, come down. One more time. Inhale, lift your knees up an inch. This time, exhale, keep your knees bent as you press the floor away, lifting your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Knees bent, heels are lifted. And I really want you to think about what's happening to your hips and your tailbone. So really press down into the floor with your hands and lift away through your shoulders, through your tailbone, and then all the way down through your heels. So although your heels aren't touching the floor, you're drawing the energy out of your heels down towards the floor. On your next inhale, slowly walk your hands back to your feet. Hands back to feet. Feet are hip bone distance apart. And then allow yourself to hang. So just bend your knees a lot. Rest your belly on your legs. And allow your head to hang. And if you want to grab opposite elbows, you can. Let your head hang between your arms. And if you want to just sway side to side a little bit, you can. Good, and then exhale, release your hands to the floor. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Place your hands on your shins. Lengthen your spine forward. Keep a slight bend in your knees, and then exhale, release. Inhale, you're going to start to roll yourself up very slowly. So you're starting with your lower back. And one vertebrae at a time, start to roll up. Your head is the last thing to come up. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Reach your fingertips up. Keep a slight bend in your knees. Exhale, forward fold. So you're hinging from your hips. So you're going forward as you fold over. If your hands don't touch the floor or it's challenging for you, you can put your hands on blocks. That's really helpful. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen again. Exhale, walk your hands out to a plank. So you're walking your hands all the way forward until you're in a plank position. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Knees bent, heels lifted, just like we did before. Draw your upper outer arms under you. Keep pressing down into your hands. Then inhale, shift your weight forward, come to plank. Place your knees down right where they are on the floor. Draw your upper arms under, slowly lower down to the floor. Good. Untuck your toes and press the tops of your feet down. And then walk your hands back just a little bit. So your wrists and elbows are in one line. Draw your upper arms under and then inhale, lift your chest up. So you're lengthening your chest forward, then lifting up to baby cobra. Press down into all 10 toes. Exhale, release, come down. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. Exhale, release, come down. Keep lengthening your tailbone toward your heels. So don't allow your tailbone and your hips to lift up. So you're lengthening your tailbone toward your heels, so that way your tailbone is going back. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra one more time. Lift your arms up, your hands up an inch off the floor. And then exhale, release, come down. Good. Inhale, press yourself up to tabletop. Tuck your toes under and exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, look to your hands. Slowly walk your feet to your hands. And keep a slight bend in your knees as you walk your feet forward. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head, any way you'd like to get there. And then take your right wrist, take your right hand, grab your left wrist, lift your left arm up, and then side bend to your right. So you're lifting up, then bending over. Inhale, come to the center, switch sides. Left hand, right wrist, lift your right arm up as you bend over to the left. Inhale, come to the center. Do that one more time, switching right hand, left wrist. Inhale to the center, switch sides, go the other direction. Good. Inhale, come to the center, release your hands, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, step your left foot back, come into a lunge. So try to get your left foot back so your leg can go straight, and then place your left knee to the floor. So your knee is behind you. And if you feel any discomfort, try to get your leg to go back a little bit further. And if that's still not working, you can put a small towel or a larger towel underneath of your knee for support. Move your right foot to the right just 1 or 2 times. So your feet are in their own lane, about hip bone distance apart. You can also put your hands on blocks, which is also helpful. Inhale, come up onto your fingertips. You can keep your back toes tucked if you like, or you can untuck them and press down into the top of your foot. Think about your hip bone scooping up. So you don't want your tailbone necessarily going back. Think about your tailbone drawing under towards the floor. Your next inhale, reach your arms up to the ceiling. Lift up about 1 inch. So really fire up your hips and your hamstrings and lift up about 1 inch. And you'll feel your hamstrings and legs engage. Press down into your right heel, your front foot. And from here, reach up, maybe do a small back bend. And then exhale, place your hands down. Bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot. And you can move your right foot over a little bit further so your arms are on one line. But get your arm, your right arm, and your right leg to touch. So it looks something like this. And then think about pressing your leg into your arm and pressing your right arm back into your leg. So they're staying straight and they're engaging each other. And again, you can always have your hands on top of blocks here. Thanks, so. And if you don't have blocks, and you feel like this would be helpful, you can always get them off Amazon or any other yoga site. If you need assistance with that, let me know. I can find some for you. Good. And then from here, I want you to press down into your left hand, and then without moving your hips, reach your right arm up. Keep firming your outer hips in, and look down to your right knee, make sure it's still going straight. And then you can look up to your hand, or if that feels uncomfortable for your neck, just look straight ahead. Good, and then exhale, bring your hand down to the floor. Bring your right hand to the outside of your right foot, tuck your back toes under, and lift your back leg up so you're in a lunge. Good, and then step your right foot back so you're in plank, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, place your knees down to the floor. Slowly lower all the way back down. This time, hands in front of you. So one hand is on top of the other, elbows bent. And you're going to bring your forehead down to your hands, to the back of your hand. Press down to the tops of your feet and lengthen your tailbone down. And what I want you to think about doing is think about where your shoelaces are on your shoes. Press that part of your foot down hard. You'll feel your kneecaps lift up. Good, and then your next inhale, I want you to think about lengthening your chest forward, lifting your arms, head, neck, and chest up. But you don't have to come up very high. Exhale, release, come down. Inhale, lift up again. Keep pressing down to the tops of your feet. Reach your toes back. And exhale, release, come down. Good, release that. Bend your elbows, place your hands by your shoulders. Inhale, press yourself up to tabletop. And then exhale, downward facing dog. So keeping your knees bent, drawing your upper arms under, press down into your hands, lift up through your arms, through your shoulders, all the way up through your tailbone. And then feel that energy going down through your heels. On your next inhale, look to your hands, walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Reach your fingertips up, lifting up from the sides of your waist. Exhale, sit down to chair pose, Utkatasana. Lengthening your tailbone down. And then look down at your feet. If you can't see your toes, and a lot of people do this type of thing where they stick their tailbone back. So think about lengthening your tailbone towards the floor. Draw your upper arms under. Pretend like you're holding a block between your thighs and you don't want to drop the block. So press into that block. Inhale, stand straight up, reach your arms up. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale, step your right foot back. Come into a lunge. So again, try to get your right foot back quite a bit so you have a nice long stance. And then bring your right knee to the floor. And again, if you feel any kind of pain or discomfort in your knee, especially if you've had a knee injury or surgery or anything like that, it's just uncomfortable, you can put something underneath of it. You can also lengthen your leg back a little bit so you don't have as much pressure on your knee. You can keep your toes tucked under or untuck your toes. Move your left foot to the left 1 or 2 times. Inhale, come up onto your fingertips or your blocks. So if you have blocks under you, you can come up onto your fingertips and your blocks. Same thing, think about lengthening your tailbone towards the floor, scooping your hip bones up toward your bottom ribs, pressing down into your feet. And then your next inhale, lift your arms up, lifting your torso up. And then think about lifting your hips up just like an inch or 2 to really engage your hips and your legs so that way you're not just sinking into it. Press down into your left heel. Keep breathing. Firm your outer hips in. And then on your next inhale, lift up. Maybe do a slight back bend. And then exhale, place your hands down. to the floor. Take your left hand, bring it to the inside of your left foot. You can move your left foot over just a tiny bit, but keep your left arm touching your left leg, and then press them both into each other. So your left knee should be in line with your left ankle, and your arm should be in one line as well. Again, you can always put your hands on blocks if this feels too stressful. You don't want to feel stressed like that. We already deal with that on a day-to-day basis with so much in our lives. We don't want to put that in our bodies, in our practice. Keep lengthening your torso forward. And then from here, press down into your right hand and start to lift and reach your left arm up towards the ceiling, coming into a twist. And just look down to your left knee, make sure it's still in line with your ankle and it's not going out. So really draw your inner thigh in to keep your knee straight. Exhale, slowly bring your hands back to the floor. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back leg up. So you're in a lunge, and then step your left foot back, and exhale, downward facing dog. Your next inhale, come forward to plank. Drop your knees right where they are, and exhale, lower all the way down. Good. This time, bring your arms down by your sides. Chin to the mat or your forehead, either one. And have your palms pointing in towards each other. Tops of your feet pressing down, hip bone distance apart. Lengthen your tailbone down. And then your next inhale, lengthen your chest forward. Lift your head, neck, and chest up. And look right past the edge of your mat, all the way up at me, or at your computer or your phone. Keep lengthening your chest forward. Inhale, lift your arms up a couple inches by your sides. Reaching your fingertips back. Drawing your shoulder blades towards one another. And then keep pressing down to the tops of your feet. Then lift your feet up a couple inches, maybe. Reach your toes back. Keep drawing your inner thighs in. And exhale, slowly come down. You can turn one cheek to one side. And then bring your chin back to the mat. Bend your elbows, place your hands by your shoulders. Then inhale, slowly press yourself up to tabletop. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, we're gonna come into a squat. So what I want you to do is separate your feet so that they are the width of your mat. So they're wider than hip bone distance apart. And then I want you to start to walk your hands back towards your feet. Now, what you're going to do from here, okay, so your feet and your heels should be on the floor. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. You're going to turn your toes out, okay, so your toes are pointing out, and you're going to start to squat down. And when you do that, there's a couple of things you can do. One, you can have blocks underneath of your sit bones, okay, to help. Have those blocks under you. Also, when you come down, you want to think about your tailbone flicking back. So when you come down, your tailbone is flicking back, and that's creating space and an anterior tilt in your pelvis. And it allows you to come down a little bit. But that might not be a thing for you. If you have knee injuries, hip issues, squatting might not be a very accessible pose. So you can come up and stay up higher. Okay, you don't have to come down as far. All right, so whether you're sitting on blocks, you're sitting up higher, just make sure that your heels are on the floor. So you shouldn't have your heels lifted up. Bring your heels down. You can make your stance wider. You can have your toes pointing out more. And then wherever you are, bring your hands together to heart center. And if you are squatting all the way down, think about your outer arms, your triceps pressing into your legs, and then press your legs back into your arms. So you're firing up your arms and your legs. And then lift your chest. So a lot of people do this little roundy thing with their back. Okay, so think about your tailbone lengthening back as you lift your chest. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Keep breathing. Squatting is a really important thing to do, and it's very challenging for a lot of us. So I challenge you to practice squatting each day. You know, whether you're up here squatting like this, whether you're on blocks, or whether you're down low, find time during the day to do a squat and hold it for 1 minute, and then try to increase it each day. Good. Keep lifting your torso. And then from here, place your right fingertips down by your right foot. And then inhale, lift your left arm up. Just look straight ahead for now. Keep lifting your torso up. And then if you would like to, you can start to look up to your right or your left hand. I'm really bad with my left and my rights today. From here, if you want to do this, take this a little bit further into a half bind, you're going to internally rotate your left arm. Okay, so the palm starts to go towards the back of the room. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so this is internal rotation. And then you're going to bring your arm behind you and rest the back of your hand on your lower back, shoulder back. And then look up. And if that's too stressful on your neck, you can just continue looking straight. Good. Inhale, reach your left arm up and come back to the center. Breathe out. Switching sides, left fingertips down by your left foot. So arm is straight. Reach your right arm up. Look straight ahead for now. And then you're still keeping your torso long. So you're not changing your body to do, to get your arm up. And then if it feels okay, start to look up to your right hand. And then from here, if you want to do a half bind, you don't have to. You're going to internally rotate your right arm. Okay, so this is an internal rotation. And then you're going to reach behind you. The back of your right hand rests on your lower back. Elbow is bent. And then from here, start to roll your right shoulder back. Rolling your right shoulder back. And maybe looking up. Lengthening your torso. Good. Inhale, reach your right arm up. And then exhale, come back to the center. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, place your hands down to the floor and walk yourself out to a plank. And then exhale, lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. If you need to go to child's pose, you can do that as well. And then your next inhale, look to your hands. Slowly walk your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head, reaching your fingertips up. And then exhale, sit down to chair pose, Utkatasana. Okay, so again, let's practice here. So feet are hip bone distance apart. Look down at your toes. You're pointing forward and your knees are tracking over your second toes. So a lot of this happens, or this, where your toes are pointing out. So think about your toes pointing forward. Draw your upper arms under and straighten your arms. And then you don't have to come down as far. You don't have to sit down all the way, or you can. It's up to you. Good. On your next inhale, I want you to straighten your left leg and lift your right leg up. Knee up, flex your foot. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, straighten your right leg, lift your left knee up. Press your right thigh back. Lengthen your tailbone down. Exhale, chair pose. Okay, one more time. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Lift your right knee up. Foot is flexed. And then from here, firm your outer hips in and turn your leg out from the hip socket. Okay, so your leg is turning out. Inhale, come to the center. Exhale, turn it out. And then place your foot on your calf for tree pose. And if this isn't working, you're feeling very wobbly, option 2, put your hand on a wall or bring your toes to the floor lightly with your heel on your ankle. Reaching your arms up, drawing your upper arms under. Keep lifting up from the sides of your waist, lengthening your tailbone down. So you're pressing down into your left foot and all the 4 corners of your left foot, but you're still lifting away from the ground. So you're pressing down into the earth, but feeling the energy come up. Keep firming your outer left hip in. Keep breathing. Good. Your next inhale, bring your right knee to center and flex your foot. Lift your knee up. And then exhale, sit down to chair pose. Inhale, stand straight up. And exhale, bring your hands down. Good. Roll it out, shake it out. Give you a little bit of a break with your arms and your legs. Okay, and then when you're ready, come back to mountain pose at the top of your mat. And inhale, reach your arms up over your head. And exhale, sit back down to chair pose. And your next inhale, straighten your right leg, lift your left knee up. Flex your left foot, press your outer hips in, so firm everything in. And then on your exhale, turn your leg out from the hip socket. Inhale to the center. Exhale, turn it out. Inhale, center. Okay, this time, exhale, turn it out, and then just place your foot on your calf. And same options as before. You can put your hands on a wall. You can bring your toes down to the floor. But think about what's happening with your hip bones. Make sure that both your hip bones are in the same line. Okay, so you're not lifting one hip up over the other. Okay, so you're firming both your hips in, lifting up from the sides of your waist. Arms are straight. You can always bring your hands down to your heart if your arms are getting really tired. Keep breathing. And again, pressing down into all 4 corners of your right foot, but lifting up away from the floor at the same time. Good, and then from here, bring your left foot to the center, or your left knee to center and flex your foot. And then exhale to chair pose. Utkatasana. Good, and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, step your right foot back. And step your left foot back. Option 1, put your knees down. If you don't want to put your knees down, slowly lower all the way down to the floor. Your entire body goes with you at one time. Good, bring your arms down by your sides. Palms pointing down towards the floor. Feet are hip bone distance apart. Tops of your feet pressing down. Inhale, lift your chest up. For Shalabhasana, locust pose. Inhale, lift your arms up a couple inches. Reaching your fingertips back. And inhale, lift your feet up a couple inches. Spread your toes. And reach out through your toes. Firm your inner thighs in. And rotate them up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, slowly come down. Turn one cheek to one side. Take a few breaths here. Good. Your next inhale. Bring your chin to the mat. And then you're going to bend your elbows so your hands and your forearms are on the floor, hugging by your sides. And then you're going to lift up to Sphinx pose. So if you don't know, you can look at me. You're getting your elbow and shoulder in one line and your elbow and wrist in one line. Okay? And then your legs are doing the same thing they were just doing. So you're pressing down to the tops of your feet, pressing down to all 10 toes. So the one thing you don't want to do here, you don't want to put it all on your lower back because our lower back is the most flexible part of our back. It has a natural curve and it's just very flexible. So you want to try to lengthen your lower back versus curving it so much. So lengthen your tailbone towards your heels and then lift up from your chest. So you'll feel, if you kind of let it go, you'll feel the arching in your lower back versus lower, like lengthening your tailbone down and lifting your chest. And you'll feel a lot of that pressure come out of your lower back. Pressure palms and your forearms down into the floor. And then lift your shoulders and your arms away from the floor at the same time. And then option 1 is to stay here. Option 2 is to just slide your left arm forward, your left hand forward, so you're on your fingertips and your arm is straight. And you're pressing down into your right forearm, lifting up still. And then just bend your right knee. Good. Exhale, bring your right foot down. Bring your left hand down and slowly lower down. You can do whatever you want with your arms. You can keep them bent or you can straighten them down by your sides. Your choice. Good. Then inhale, come back up to Sphinx pose. One more time. So again, elbows, shoulders, elbows, wrists in one line. You're pressing down into your palms and your forearms, but you're lifting up away from the floor at the same time. So you're not sinking down into your shoulders. You're lifting up. Pressing down to the tops of your feet, lengthening your tailbone towards your heels, lifting your chest and lengthening it forward as you lift up. Breathing, because breathing is the most important part. And then from here, if you can't reach your right arm forward without kind of sinking down into your left arm, then it's probably best just to stay here. Or start to straighten your right arm. And your hand doesn't leave the floor. You're just sliding it forward. Keep pressing down into your left forearm, lifting up. And then bend your left knee. Good. Exhale, place your left foot down. Bring your right arm down. Slowly lower down. Arms can go down by your sides. Turn your other cheek to the other side. And then from here, you can bend your knees very slowly. Try not to go fast. Just start to windshield wiper your feet side to side. But again, good. And then go ahead and come back to the center. Release your feet to the floor. Bend your elbows, place your hands by your shoulders. Slowly press yourself up to tabletop. Come to sitting. Don't come to child's pose yet. And then kick your feet out in front of you. If you have blocks, you can bring them with you while you come down to your backs. You can also use one of your towels. So if you wanted to take one of your towels before you lower it down, if you have one, these are not folded properly. First, you want to make sure that they are folded so all the creases and lines line up. And then just fold it a few times, I would say, so it kind of looks like this, like a rectangular type of bolster. So you can have one of those nearby. So probably do a little bit of supported bridge. So come down to your backs, knees bent, feet on the floor, arms down by your sides. Okay. And then just come to stillness. So you want your feet close to your bottom, but not touching. You shouldn't really be able to touch your heels with your arms. They should almost barely be touching. Relax your shoulders down. Press down into your feet. So think about pressing down to all four corners of your feet. And then press your arms down and feel your arms touching the floor. Okay. And then option 1, if you have any kind of back injury, condition, issue, you can slide one of your blocks or your towel underneath of your sacrum. Okay, so this is option 1. Sliding something underneath of your sacrum and relaxing in supported bridge pose. Okay. Option 2, on your next inhale, press your feet down, press your arms down, start to tilt your tailbone up. So your hips are starting to lift slowly. And you're tilting your tailbone up towards the backs of your knees. And then very slowly start to rise up, lifting your hips one vertebrae at a time up to your shoulders. And then once you get up to your shoulders and you're lifted, think about continuing to lengthen your tailbone towards the backs of your knees. Press your thighs in. Pretend like you're holding a block between your thighs and you're pressing into that block. Press your shoulders down and then really lift your chest and open your chest up, pressing your back ribs into your front ribs, drawing your chest towards your chin. Press down into your heels and slide your heels back towards your head. Keep pressing your arms down. And then your next exhale, slowly, one vertebrae at a time, come down. Tailbone lasting the touch. And then bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat. Bring your knees into touch. Then we're going to do one more of those. So option to do supported bridge pose if you're done with lifting up and doing actual back bends. Bring your hands down by your sides. Press your feet down. Keep looking straight up. And then your next inhale, start to tilt your tailbone up towards the backs of your knees. Slowly lifting your hips and rolling up one vertebrae at a time up to your shoulders. Press your heels down into the floor. Draw your heels back towards your head. Press your thighs in. Lift your chest. And then if you want to go one step further, just to open your chest up a little bit more, you can start to roll your shoulders under you. So you're kind of lifting up and rolling your shoulders under, but keep your arms on the floor, pressing your arms down as you lift your hips and chest up. Keep pressing down into your feet. Press down into your heels. Lengthen your tailbone towards the backs of your knees. And your next exhale, slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time. Okay, bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat. You can option to bring your knees into touch for stillness, or if you want a little movement, very slowly drop your knees to the right on your exhale. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the other side. Going slow. Good, and then come back to the center and bring your feet in. So if you do have one of those props, so you can, if you have a block, would be preferred, okay? But if you don't have a block, that's completely fine. You can take one of those towels and put it underneath of your sacrum. And if you don't have anything at all, that's fine too. It's not a big deal. Okay, so whatever you have. I'm just not going to use one for those who don't have one. All right, so you're just in a supported type of bridge pose. And then from here, I want you to extend your right leg out in front of you and lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Keep pressing your sacrum down into whatever's supporting it. Lift your heel up. So your leg doesn't have to be 100% straight, but you're lifting your heel up, pressing your thigh forward to go toward straight. And then lift your left leg up to meet it. And then from here, point your feet, point your toes. And then flex, press your heels up. Point your toes and flex, press your heels up. One more time, point your toes and flex. And then very slowly, either one leg or both legs at a time, bend your knees, place your feet on the floor, feel the moment they touch. And then from here, you can go ahead and remove whatever prop is underneath of your sacrum right now. Move that off to the side. And then go ahead and extend your right leg down to the floor and flex your right foot and draw your left knee into your chest. And then bring your left arm out into a T shape. So it's out in a straight line over to the right. So this is also where some props come in really handy. If you don't want to twist so deeply, you can place a block or two underneath of your knee. Okay, so it could be something like this, or like this, or none at all. If it feels stressful on your spine at all, that's where the props might be useful. You can also take one of your rolled up towels and put that under there too. Good. Inhale, slowly come to the center. Draw your left knee in. Extend your left leg down. And we're going to switch sides. Draw your right knee in. Flex your left foot. Right arm comes out into one straight line, half T shape. Left hand behind your right knee. And then you can move your hips a little bit to the right and then drop your right knee over to the left. So your upper body stays where it is. Again, using props however needed. Good. Inhale, come to the center, draw your right knee in. Send your right leg down. And then reach your arms up and give yourself a hug. Hands coming to your shoulders, maybe toward your shoulder blades, but still allowing yourself space to breathe. And think about what arm is on top right now. Arms back up. Switch the arm that's on top. Good. Reach your arms up. Bring your hands down. If you want to do one last happy baby, maybe any kind of last stretch or pose that you would like to do before Shavasana, before we take a moment to settle. If you're doing happy baby, you can grab the outer feet. If that's not accessible to you, you can grab behind your thighs or your big toes. Feet are pointing up. You can also do thread the needle, whatever feels good. If you're in happy baby and you want to sway side to side, you can. Good. And then when you're ready, go ahead and just find a comfortable position lying down. So one thing you can do, maybe putting blocks underneath of your knees or a rolled up towel underneath of your knees. That feels really good. You can also take a blanket and fold it a few times so it's a little bit weighted and put that over top of your hips to feel a little bit of pressure on your hips. You can also take you can take a blanket and cover yourself from your toes all the way up to your neck. That feels really nice too, especially if you're cold. Go ahead and just find a comfortable position lying down. And I'm going to sit up for this. So starting to find stillness, bring yourself back to your breath. We're just going to do a quick body scan and relax our body, kind of releasing tension. We hold a lot of tension in different places. Everyone's a little bit different, but there's a few common areas that we hold a lot of tension that we don't even realize that we're doing on a day-to-day basis. So I want you, as we do this, to focus and bring awareness to the parts of your body that you realize that you hold a lot of tension as we do this body scan. And then you know which parts of your body to focus on a day-to-day basis to relax. I definitely know where mine are. So just take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. This time, as you take a deep breath in, I want you to imagine the air going through your entire body. So take a deep breath in, going through your shoulders, down to your fingers, through your belly, all the way down to your toes. And then as you breathe out, relax your entire body and breathe all the air out, relaxing everything and allowing your body to feel heavy. Take one more deep breath in, doing the same thing, filling your entire body with air. And then your exhale, releasing it all. And as you breathe all the air out, you're releasing the tension from your body. And then just breathe normally. And starting with your toes, relax your toes. Allow them to just be where they are. Relax your feet, allow your feet to hang open naturally. Relax your ankles and your heels and allow your heels to press down into the floor. Relax your knees, and if your knees are being supported by something like a folded blanket or block, allow them to relax into that prop. Relax your thighs. Relax your hips. And feel your hips being weighted down by gravity. Relax your belly. And feel your belly releasing into your spine. We hold a lot of tension in our belly sometimes. And relax your ribs. Relax your chest. Relax your shoulders. So feel your shoulders release into the floor. Relax your arms. Relax your fingers and allow your fingers to naturally curl. Relax your neck. Our jaw is one of the places we hold a lot of our tension. So relax your jaw and allow your mouth to part slightly. Relax your tongue. And notice if your tongue is resting on the roof of your mouth or not. Relax your cheeks and your eyes. And relax your mind. And then just do one more rescan of your body, because when you relax one part of your body, then another part of your body tends to tense up a little bit. So kind of rescan your body and do that again on your own. And then just allowing yourself to relax, returning to your breath. slowly start to deepen your breathing. Bring some awareness to your body and wiggle your fingers and toes. Circle your and then very slowly just roll over to one side and pause there in a moment in a fetal-like position. Using your top hand, slowly press yourself up to sitting. Come to the top of your mat in any comfortable seated position you like. And once you're there, bring your hands together to heart center and close your eyes. May all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to the happiness and to that freedom for all. We bow to complete our practice. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. I can't tell you how much I enjoy being able to continue teaching for everybody through this time. I am here for you all, and just by you showing up, you are here for me, and that I am eternally grateful for that. I am not a yoga teacher without you all. And I'm always a student. I guess I am a teacher, but you guys make that worth it for me. So I thank you so much for practicing with me today. The schedule for next week will be out tomorrow. Every Sunday, I'll post a schedule for the coming week. I'm going to do another Zoom class. I'm going to try to start doing those once a week in place of a live class. I really enjoyed the one we did last night. So for those of you who came, thank you. I really enjoyed that. So we'll do more of those. And so message me, follow HQ Yoga YouTube channel if you haven't yet. Follow Yoga More Facebook page if you haven't yet. Find me on Instagram, Candice Covahey Yoga. And love you guys so much. Miss you all. See you again. Namaste.